our Monday webinar. Purpose of this webinar, give you a little bit of a head start on the week, do some education, and try to figure out some ideas to make some do-re-mi. Remember, we will be archiving this and sending it out to you. If you guys have any questions or crystal ball readings, just put them in the question box. I will get to them as soon as I can. So today we were down 472. It was kind of weird because if you look at my watch list, even though we were down, I had a bunch of stocks that were up. You know, it wasn't, and the UVXY down 22 cents. By the way, it's trading at 791, 792 in after hours. When the Dow's down, that's crazy. Crazy. So I'm not sure. I think it will play catch up. Let's hope. But anyway, today was weird because they rallied it off, you know, on the open, and then because of Cypress deal, and then they pulled it back, and then they rallied it late. But still, it did a doji. S&P did a doji. Right here. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Like, here's a doji, but the next day is up. It negates it. This is down. Next day is up. So the pattern is tomorrow will be up. But if it's not and it's down, that could be interesting for the sell side. The dollar had a big day today. Up 0.7, almost 1%. It looks like it's about to break out to this upside here. And if it does, you're going to see a pullback in all the metals. You're going to see a pullback in the market. One of the metals that really has me worried is copper. And it actually broke down today to a new low. So let's talk a little bit about copper, because old saying on Wall Street, you know, bull markets have a copper ceiling. I think we're in a bull market, but copper's not at its highs. It's at its lows. So that's one divergence. That's called divergence. When something that's supposed to happen doesn't happen, it's like a red flag. So that's one thing about copper. The other thing about copper for me is it represents the disconnect between the economy and the worldwide economy and the stock market. Stock market's hitting all-time highs. Copper's hitting lows because the economy stinks. The worldwide economy stinks. The market's up because the Fed printing and trying to force people out of banks by having 0% interest rate. So, and this will probably continue for another couple of years, by the way. But there's a total disconnect between that and the economy, because I don't think the economy is very good. And I can't tell you how many people, friends of mine, I've talked to who are looking for a job and can't find one. I can't tell you. You know, they talk about jobs. Where are the jobs? Tell me. They're not going to be in manufacturing. Where are the jobs in America? And one of the sad things is you really have to start your own business to get a job. I mean, I used to, oh, Matthew, good point. Matthew says oil and gas. Right. I'm moving up to North Dakota right now. I know I can make 120 grand a year, but you're right. Anything related to oil and gas, it's become a big, big boom for us. So truckers and railroads and, you know, pipelines. So you're right, that part. But how many of us, people who went to college, you know, this overrated rip-off college, how many people who have that education are going to go work in the oil and gas industry? You know what I mean? And how many will get hired? Because most of the time, we're overeducated. We have too much education. We're overqualified. It's crazy. College has outlived its purpose. And it's become a monster. Anyway, so you got to start your own business if you want to get a job. I used to joke around and say, nobody would hire me, so I'm starting my own business. And I think that's true of a lot of us older. Because what corporations are doing now, because of Obamacare, they're laying off people and hiring part-timers where they don't have to give them any benefits. And they can, people are desperate. They could hire them for lower wages. And that's one of the reasons why we're not seeing inflation with all the Fed printing, because there's so much powerful deflation going on. Debt, deleveraging, banks aren't lending. That's deflationary. Lack of jobs and no increase in pay, that's deflationary. So there are powerful deflationary forces going on here. And that's why you're not seeing inflation come back. But on the other hand, when I go to the store and buy food and clothing and healthcare costs and college education, there's a lot of inflation. So we're kind of caught between the crosshairs. Kind of weird. Okay. So again, we talked about this is window dressing week. It's a short week, 4-day week. Friday is Good Friday. Markets closed. Typically, markets rally into holidays, but typically in window dressing, you sell off. So let's see who wins out. Also, we're coming up to April. That's the second quarter, the first quarter earnings, and that's going to be interesting. But what's happening in the market right now, the averages are holding up, but some of the leaders are not. And this is like weird. Google's pulled back, but it's okay. eBay. Oof. Well, you know why eBay's going to get killed? And same thing with Amazon. They're going to have sales tax on the internet. They've been getting away with it for so long. But again, you're seeing some of these leaders just get killed. Joy Global. How about this one? Look at that. Breaking down. This is farm and construction machinery. This is supposed to be good. Why is the stock breaking the 200-day moving average? AGU, fertilizer. Again, why isn't it as low as if things are good? We all know about FTX. Let's see what UPS did. UPS is okay. FTX is, look at this. This is a wave too. It's about to go down even more. Caterpillar and Deere had a tough day today too. Yep, look at this. ISRG, remember what they did to that one? That was one of the market leaders. Boom. So one by one, Walter Energy. I think this is call, right? Oh no. Yeah, call. Look at this. New low. So leader after leader is hitting new lows while the averages are hanging at the highs. That is called divergence. Okay? One of them is going to be right. I think the market pulls back. We have so few bears out there. Wow. Wow, look at this. After the news of the Cyprus deal this morning, the first two put call readings were a very complacent 0.52 and 0.58. We haven't seen back-to-back readings below 0.6 for a very long time. Thus, complacency is creeping in deeper now that things refuse to fall, no matter what the news may be. It's not a good place. You know, when the put-call ratio is 1 or higher, it means for every one put, one call. Well, that's bullish because normally people buy more calls than puts. Well, now that you got 0.52 puts to calls, that means people aren't buying puts. They're buying calls. And that's probably the time we get a big pullback. So be careful out there. All right. Don't forget, if you want to do crystal ball readings or questions, just put them in the question box, and we will get right to them. You know, something interesting, Texas has proposed a law to create the Texas Bullion Depository. In other words, they want to hoard the Texas gold. Will Texas secede from the Union? Wouldn't that be interesting? And by the way, Texas is the #1 business state in the country, and they have no state income tax. Counterintuitive? Obama, take lessons from Texas. Let's provide incentives for business. Okay, let's go through some of the ideas, and let's see what happens. Okay, some of the long trades. GV. I have no idea how these guys did today. GV up another 26 cents. Ooh, but look at this tail. This is very bearish. If tomorrow's up, no problem. If tomorrow's down, that is a huge sell signal. So tomorrow's going to be very important for GV. If it goes up tomorrow, that means this thing is really powerful. This is one of my favorite biotechs. Kind of did a hanging man today. I forgot about this one. I wanted to buy something to get long. So this, I might buy this in the morning if it takes out the high. It's got to take out, let's see. The high today was 36.30, the opening price. The high the other day was 36.35. It's kind of a tweezer top. So you got to take out 36.35. Okay? But if it does, I'm going to buy it. That's like my price trigger alert. BMY and THID both did hanging man. Okay, let's see. BMY, it's true. BMY I love long term, but it's going to pull back. It's got to. In January it was 33. It's now 40. It's up more than 20%. Conservative stock. It's got to pull back. And yes, it did a hanging man at the top. And let's look at this one. The high today, 40.46. Again, the opening price was the high. That's not good. A lot of stocks did that today. The high yesterday, 40.48. Another tweezer top. Wow, this thing's coming down. Yeah, SGEN, right. Wiz, can you provide targets to the watch list fix? Do you want me to... you mean when I give out the picks over the weekend, you want me to give you targets too? I thought we'd do that when I do the video. No, just during the webinar. Okay, thank you. All right, let's give a target to GV. I go to the weekly for my targets a lot of times. And of course, GV has never been here before. So this is blue sky territory, which is bullish. So then what do? Okay, wave one goes here, here, here. Is this going to pull back? I don't really have a target on this one because of blue sky. I mean, it could be 7 or 8. Because it's blue sky and I don't know how to do it other than that. But here's a problem. Okay. 538, your 50-day moving average is at 350. So the 50-day is about 2 points higher. That's about 65%. When the stock gets more than 50% from the 50-day moving average, it's going to pull back. Just a concept, linear regression to the mean, but that happens a lot. And a lot of these stocks, I'm sure, are more than 50% above their 50. Okay, so this one's not. Bristol Myers, that's good. What's my target in Bristol Myers? Well, okay, 32, 37, 37, 42. So short term it's 42. After 42, it's all the way up at 50. So this one, and then it could go to 60. That's why I think this one ends up $60, which is a 50% return in the next 2 years. So again, I keep pounding the table, core and explore. Core and explore. Core and explore. Core 70%, explore 30%. Bristol Myers should be in your core and hold it long term. Wiz, what do you think about Boyle? If it opens high again, should we sell? 3 days in a row it opens high and sells down by the end of the day. Well, Boyle's all about this one, UNG. And UNG had a tough day today. But I loved UNG's ADX, but it has to take out 22. And I hate this tail here. My thinking was you were going to go up and do a triple top. And Boyle doesn't trade that much, so sometimes you just have to hold it. This thing's going to 57.50. So I would hold it. I am going to hold it. Okay, SGEN, another blue skyer. I don't know, what my target could be, but a lot higher. A lot higher. ADX looks great. And your stop is 50% of this candle right here. Another one, Yahoo. Let's see how it did today. Yahoo. Okay, this could be a sell signal. We're seeing a lot of these. Tail. If tomorrow gaps down, it's a total sell signal for a candlestick. Wow. Terrence got stopped out of Boyle with a 7% profit. Oh, yeah, because we bought it at 46 or something. I'm trying to hold positions longer. But this is very disturbing. If tomorrow's up, no problem. But if tomorrow's down, sell signal. Yeah, the ADX is turning up. So this would be a shocker. So the odds are, with the ADX turning up, it'll be up tomorrow. And 2050, 23, 23, 25.50. Matthew wants to know if we're looking at any shorts if the market pulls back. First off, it hasn't been successful shorting this market. I mean, some people hit it right. But we'll look. I'll look at some shorts, see what's the story. Here's another long IMMR. up 54 cents today. This thing's a little bit toppy, but it's either going to be a top or a wave two. But this is a great looking pattern. LNG. LNG was strong today. It just keeps going higher and higher. I love this. My target here is 30. Look at the ADX. Looks good. They like LNG. Here's one. Doesn't trade a lot, so it could be a problem. Travel Centers of America. But it's doing a wave two. And wave one went from 750 to 950. We'll go to 1150. ADX is good. Then we look at the weekly. And 12. So this thing could get up to 12. Keep your eye on Travel Centers. If it takes out the high, it breaks out. I tried to today. A lot of tweezer tops. Look at this. What's today's high? 979. What was the high then? 982. Pretty close. So if it takes out 982, you can buy it. WIS. I own some Ruger. What do you see? Well, you know, this whole thing with the Second Amendment and gun control, it's kind of crazy. It's really crazy. But Ruger and, you know, Smith & Wesson are the top manufacturers. Now, here's what's weird. This is why the market's counterintuitive. All I'm hearing is how people are rushing to buy guns because they want to get them before Obama outlaws guns or something. Well, that's good for the gun companies, right? How come you're breaking down? This could be a good short. If it takes out 50, it comes all the way down to 45 and a half. Terrence, when did LNG sign that deal? So Brits, $10 gas? Wow. When did they sign the deal, or is it going to be announced sometime? So as far as Ruger, breaking the 50 is very negative. You've been on a sell signal since here at the top. I mean, long term, this is going to be a great play, I think. Matthew says that Weld County is building a LNG plant. It's going to cost $45 million. Whoa. What does that mean they're building a liquid natural gas? Liquefied. What does that mean they're building a facility? I mean, so people in Weld County can use LNG, liquefied natural gas? Oh, $10 billion over the weekend in Barron's. Oh, that's why it was up early. Uh-huh. Open 26.27, got to 26.60, closed 25. I mean, just good things happening for this company. Matter of fact, this is one of the ones I like. Here's one that was my favorite. I don't know how it did today. DYN. Again, notice we're getting a lot of hanging men at the top. Either this is a wave 2 consolidation and we're going to break out to the upside, or we're going to pull back into this area. This is bullish. So the odds are we're going to break out. And this is a very, what is Dynegy? Is it a utility? Doesn't give me anything. Okay, let's do some more crystal balls. Let's do Amgen. Amgen was hitting an all-time high, I think. Look at that. All-time record high, Amgen. That's got to be good. This stock's going higher, man, a lot higher. A lot higher, I would say. So I love this chart. Hey, it's hitting all-time record highs. LNG power plant produces electricity but uses LNG rather than coal, fossil fuel to power the plant. Cheaper electricity and cleaner. CRM. Ooh. Do you have a profit, Gary? Because this is a sell signal if tomorrow's down. Look at this. At the top. That was a sell signal. Okay, a couple more. WG, Wilbros Group, Oil and Gas Equipment Services, Great ADX. Where can this go? All right, back into here, $12. Oil was up today when all the commodities were down. Another one for a long Cree. I think Cree got really blasted today. No, down 94 cents. This thing's doing its consolidation. I wonder if it's going to pull back and do a head and shoulders. Everything's rolling. You know, I've got it in the portfolio. Might want to sell that. All right, let me go through some growth and income. And by the way, growth and income to me is wheelhouse for the market. These are the stocks that are going to go up nicely and pay a dividend yield. And remember, dividend income is 80% tax-free. Max wants to look at ALNY. I'm just holding this one. Went below the 50 today, though. This is not good. If this thing breaks 23, it could go all the way down to 20 or 19. Needs to get above the 50. You know, I'm probably going to have to get stopped out on this one. Unless it can get back above the fix 50. UVXY, I'm hanging, baby. Hanging like a homie. I'm holding UVXY. But I'm also long some other positions. It's like a hedge. Okay, let's do some growth and income. Safeway. I shop there all the time. Did a little tail today. Again, a lot of these stocks doing these tails. Now, I did a tail this time and no problem. But I love this chart long term. 2.7% dividend. Great chart. A lot of these grocery stores have good charts. Waste management, an old favorite of mine, broke out. Look at the ADX. And by the way, one of the things that's important is this is a stock picker's market. You can't just ride the trend. You can't just play the index because it's not working. There is no trend. I mean, the trend's higher, but people don't believe it. So it's really about stock picking. Some stocks are going to do well even if the market sells off. Alan wants to know if we should add, or would you add in BX? I'm not sure because look at all this stuff rolling over. MACD sell signal. So I like it long term, but I would add closer to 19. What do you mean, what's with silver today? Why was it up versus gold? Up 9 cents. I don't know. Does this look like a good chart to you? This looks like if it breaks here, I'm going to short the heck out of it. But if it doesn't break, look at all these gaps. I don't know. Okay, let me get a good one. A stock that has a really good strength of trend, MPEL. Okay, well, actually not really. Strength of trend is just beginning. What's had a good move? And well, let's look at some of these, SLM. And I'll tell you when I'll answer your question. The question was, Wiz, when you're looking at the ADX, are you looking 6-month, 3-month, yearly chart to determine? Okay, first off, someone says, Derek says look at, or Matthew says look at Walgreens. Perfect. Great. First off, what is this doing here? Okay. So look how it's going straight up, okay? The first thing I do is I take it on a daily. And, you know, you can go back, how many months is this? A year. The ADX is the same. You can come in 3 months. So for me, I want to get a good picture. I don't want to be too close. This is probably a good picture. A year. Or this is like 10 months. Maybe you can go a little less. Seven months. Yeah, it's a good thing if you're catching the trend. But look what it did today. How many of these have we seen so far? The tails. If this is down tomorrow, it's like bearish. But knowing this market will probably be up. Don't worry about it. If you have 1,000 shares of VZ, how do you figure out your dividend yield? Well, first off, the dividend yield is the same no matter how many shares you have. So VZ yields 4.2%. So that means you multiply 1,000 shares times the close, 49.17, and you're going to get 4.2% on that for the year. So, and by the way, I love Verizon. But look at this. Doji at the top. another like potential sell signal. Oh, isn't that a good thing if the what's his name, the strength of trend is turning up? Yeah, but you want, like on this one, you want it to get above 25. When it does, the thing is you just go crazy. Something really good about this. But Tyndall, 1,000 shares, the return is going to be the same, 4.2%, no matter how many shares you have. Okay, let me do some others. RYN. This is like I think a defense company, or they make. Oh no. Oh, this is the one I was looking for. Lumber. The Fox was talking on the webinar this morning about Lumber Liquidator. Look at this, another tail. By the way, you know, every day we do a webinar from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and it's on GoToWebinar, join webinar. So all you have to do is go to our Facebook page and we put the ID numbers for the week. But also I email them out to you guys. And I think the webinars are good in the morning. So this one pays 3%, but again, is this a top? This market's got resiliency. Verizon, fantastic, but Doji. Now we've had Dojis before at the top, and it wasn't a sell signal. So I don't know what's going to happen with this market. What's going to have to happen. SLM. Credit services. Did you guys see Visa today? You think things are good in credit card land? All-time record high. I'll guarantee you this stock goes to $200. Guarantee it. So that's why the credit services is probably a good play. Although this looks a little bit toppy up in here. You want it to be here. Notice how the strength of trend in early February is pointing up. What happens to the stock? It goes from 17 to 20. This is what you want to see. Look at the what ADX on Visa? Yeah, Visa's ADX just very low. It needs to turn up. And of course, we've been all over DFS, Discovery, all-time record high today. Look at its ADX, strength to trend. That is strong. This is probably one of the stocks that will buck the trend if we pull back. All right, let's look at the VIX. Okay, so the VIX was up 17 cents, 30 cents today. It got through the 50. Isn't this weird? Through the 50? No. Through the 50? No. Through the 50? But, you know, the VIX is still on a buy signal. ADX. Let's look at the VXX. So this one was down 27 cents today. I don't know why. The VIX was up. Well, we're in a big-time downtrend, and we're probably going to go a lot lower if we're in a bull market. Not only that, they're going to reverse split this thing. If this doesn't rally soon, they're going to reverse split the UVXY. I'm looking for it to get back to 10, 10 and a half. And I'd be a big time seller. John just joined the webinar. Did we look at DDD? You know, I tried to short this at $38 and Ditto Trade didn't have the shares. I think this thing is going much slower. Downtrend, sell signal. Are you long, John? Ditto has the shares to short Facebook. Aha, thank you. It looks like a great short. Down to here. And then here. Yeah, DDD, I think there's a lot of fluff in it. It's below the 50. ADX sell. Now, it's rolling over, meaning the sell signal is rolling over. Okay, a couple more. NLY, you know, we used to like this. Then the chart broke down, had this big sell-off September through November, bottomed, starting to move up. This looks good, 11%. Now, I like to stay away from 11%, 10%, 15%, because 0% is guaranteed. 15% must have a lot of risk. And I think people who are buying these stocks for income don't really want the risk. You don't want to be sitting with an income stock at $17.50 and watch it go down to 14. So it's going to be riskier because of the higher yield. But the chart pattern looks good. Right. Most of the shippers look terrible, except for NAT. Wow, up again today? Oh man, I missed this one. And look at this. This is going to go more. That doesn't make earnings. Why do they say 5.7%? This has more to go because of the ADX. My target would be right up in here, $13. So we're pretty close. Let's look at the other one. DSX, which pulled back a penny today. I don't like this tail, but ADX is shaping up. And the other one was Eagle. ADX looks good as well. So my two favorite would be NAT and Eagle. Do I still like CQP? Well, I love LNG. So that would go, yes, totally. Pay 6.6%. Sitting at its high. ADX looks perfect. MACD looks great. Volume looks good. Excellent. I love this. AGNC. This was another high flyer. Pays 15%. This is my thing. I think this is too risky. 15%. When the world's living at 0%, what are they doing to get that 15%? And why isn't anyone else doing it? So the higher the yield, watch out. How about this one? We've been talking about this guy forever, every week. MPW. Healthcare facilities, 5%. But look at this chart. You kidding me? Ever since it broke above 12, it's now almost 16. 35%. This is a monster. Coming up to the record high. Wow, look at that. Surprised me. 1648, 1670. And then it's a double top. But this one looks fantastic, and you get 5%. I'm happy with that. MPW is David. What does that mean? MPW. David versus Goliath? Oh, MPW is David versus Goliath on a Passover evening. Thank you for mentioning it. Wiz, what do you think of DXJ? A lot of money has flowed into this ETF. DXJ seeks to hedge away any negative positive currency movement Japanese yen exhibits versus the US dollar. Seeks to hedge away any negative or positive currency movement. Well, that sounds crazy to me. It looks good, but it's rolling over. I went on a MACD sell. A lot of the move might be over here, short term. I'd be careful. This is rolled over. This is rolling over. Stochastics have rolled over. A lot of pressure on this one. I think the move's been made. GMCR, this is one that if it takes out a certain price, it's going to $70. Up 19 cents today. Good chart. The price it has to take out is 57. And when this takes out 57, it goes all the way to 70. This is a no-brainer when it takes out 57. And look at this weekly ADX. This is really strong on a weekly chart. Okay, this is a good one. Joseph says, Wiz, which would you buy, SBGI or NXST? We talked about both of these on the show tonight. All right, let's first do SGBI because this has been in our wheelhouse for a while. One of our master members, SBGI. Okay, so wave one goes 14 to 18. We're going to 22. So we got 3 points here. ADX is at the high, but now it's turning up. And XST. This is just breaking out. Same thing, 14 to 17, 17 to 20. ADX is kind of flat. Based on the ADX, I'd do the other guy. Because it's turning up. But it's a trade. 2 points only. What about OPK? Well, OPK looks great, although it did a hanging man today. We're seeing a lot of hanging men, a lot of tails, but this chart, when this gets going, this goes to 10 or higher. I really like this. But it might pull back if the market pulls back. The solar sector is toast. No question. This is very ugly for solar. Now, the only play I like in the solar would be SPWR because it's consolidating, but it looks like it's about to break down if it takes out 11. So yeah, solar space, stay away from. Do I have any more? Oh, wait. A couple more. You know what's interesting? Williams-Sonoma hasn't really participated in the retail, surge. It pays a 2.5% dividend, and it just broke out today. I really like this pattern. And the ADX is just starting to move. Keep your eye on WSM. All-time record high. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about this stuff. Wiz, did you review SRPT? I bought it on your recommendation the other day. I know it had a nice day today. SRPT is there's an article in Barron's this weekend about it. And apparently the news was good because the stock was up $1.88. When it breaks above 35, if it breaks above 35, I'm going to buy it because I think it can go back to highs. ADX is looking good. All we need is a low breakout. Oh, EVC is a broadcasting stock. Looks better than the other two. Whoa. Whoa. Look at your ADX. You're way overbought on the ADX, though. You're up around 62.70 is like trouble. Okay, couple more growth and income. Best Buy. Who would have thunk? 3%. Great chart. Going to 28. Best Buy. Another one is utility. EXC. What'd it do today? Down 33 cents. Failed at the 200. But look at the ADX. I trust in the ADX. HOG is in the same. HGG. Oh, electronics. Looks like it's rolling. Needs a nice update. So again, on this kind of play, if it takes out the highs, I could play it, but not unless it does. That would tell me we're in motion. Okay, a couple of ETFs, PBJ, peanut butter and jelly, or food and beverage portfolio. It's an ETF, food and beverage. And the other one that's kind of interesting is this EDZ, which shorts emerging markets. Had a good day. Well, it was up 3 cents today, but if it takes out 1050, it can get up into here. I got two water stocks. Because one of the things about fracking is you got to bring water in to frack, and then you got to take it out. So there's a whole bunch of suppliers, industry around this water stuff. And, Matthew said earlier, where the jobs are, they're in oil and gas and all the ancillary, plays, water being one. So it has a spread out effect. One that I really like to chart is water, WTR. Now, it did a doji. So if it's down tomorrow, it could be a problem. But this is a great chart. Great ADX. So water should be, it's like the water crisis. This will be maybe a hedge. I love this chart. And it pays 2.5%. The other water play is AWK. Same thing. Pays 2.5. Doji. ADX is not as good. Very, very interesting. So in general, I believe the market's getting ready to pull back. And we are in this major bull market. But we have to get the bearish sentiment higher. We have to get more and more people bearish, selling. And then the market can rally again. So look for a pullback on the Dow back to the 50-day, 14,000, 400, 500 points. Not a big deal. 3 to 5% pullback. But it's definitely coming. CTL, do I think it's a gap play? Well, first off, you have to take out this number here to get into the gap. But, when you talk about a telecom, a conservative stock, this bothers me. And you're below the 50. Instead of CTL, look at Verizon. The market's telling you this is the play. Or even Telefon. Although this isn't so good. You like the gap plays. Well, if you want a gap play on CTL, it's got to take out $35.84, then it's in the gap. Then it can go all the way back to 41. They cut their dividend after earnings. Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, I mean, that is, when they cut their dividend, I'd stay far away. I mean, now you're speculating. But the chart is a chart. And I'm not so much into... Derek, is your seminar season over? When does it begin? First off, Derek, you coming to Colorado? Or we're not coming to Philly. Oh, come to Colorado, baby. We're going to have something in June in Cali. Let's see, what's this? We're March, April, June. Beginning of June. Ken joined the webinar late. And BC Lund's email today mentioned CMA and AKR. All right. CMA, I'm sure, is really good. Regional banks have been coming up on my scans. Looks very interesting. I like regional banks. And AKR, what's that? A Realty Trust, sitting at its highs, pays 3%. I love this. Love this. When will we be back in Florida? Well, the problem, probably September or October. Because, all the snowbirds go home. OZRK. Oh, this is Bank of the Ozarks? I like this, probably. Woohoo! Bank of the Ozark. This is one beautiful chart. ADX is perfect. 25 days of shorts, and they're wrong. They're going to cover. This is fantastic. Bank of Ozarks. Something's going on down there in the Ozarks. Well, I love it, Derek. All right, folks. Love you guys. Hey, let me just give you the number for tomorrow's webinar at 8 o'clock in the morning. Just real quick. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow is Tuesday, the 26th. Okay, the number is 648-479-482. 648-479-482. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. May the stock market gods be with us. Love you all.